Lights, camera, action!
So my friend Maisa, hey, I appreciate your humor, sir, but I'm doing something right now.
Love yours. No such thing. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours.
So the title of this video is not clickbait or anything, but let me explain what I mean by it. You know, when I started the whole my life in LA thing, I was thinking, all right, finally going to like really do with this channel what I want to do and, you know, show you guys LA and, you know, let's go around. This is my fabulous LA life. You know, it just, for myriad reasons, it has not been that. And you know, I've just really come to the conclusion that, at least right now, that's not what this channel is going to be. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to do that. You know, what is my life in LA when 99% of my videos are of me sitting in my apartment just like talking to y'all? And the other 1% is me hanging out at the same spot in Hollywood. That's not really like showing you guys LA or exploring LA or anything like that. And you know, another thing, and this is going to be like very controversial, and I know this is going to piss some people off when I say it, but I actually find Los Angeles to be a bit boring. And yes, I know, you know, there are lots of things to do in and around LA. People love to talk about how living in LA, you know, you're only so far from the beach and so far from the desert and so far from the mountains and so far from the woods. And, you know, none of that shit moves me. I don't care. Not a beach person, not a mountains person, certainly not a woods person, not a desert person. I am not a nature person at all. I am very much a city mouse. I like urban areas, I like buildings and electricity and the hustle and bustle. I don't care about sitting, you know, like on the sand, getting in the ocean, or skiing down a mountain, or none of that shit. I don't care. So when, you know, people are just like, yeah, there's so much to do in LA, and they talk about like, you know, doing all like, you know, all that nature stuff, that doesn't move me at all. And yes, I know that there are other things to do and see and experience in Los Angeles, but the vast majority of it just doesn't, again, move me. If y'all want to know what I like, movies, going to see movies, with the occasional like stage play. I like eating out, going to nice restaurants. I like drinking. And even though I'm getting a little up there in age, I still like to hang out and party. I can't do it like I used to. I've really discovered that. But, you know, I still like to, on occasion, you know, hang out with the youth-dom. And, you know, like that stuff, I know where I can go. I know where those type of, like, events and places and everything, I know where they are. But I'm not feeling the motivation to, like, go out and do stuff or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of over it right now. And that actually brings me to like, you know, a second thing that I wanted to mention in this video. My homegirl Maisa just moved away. She's actually an LA native, or rather a Santa Monica native, but we go back to New York. You know, we met in Brooklyn, and she moved back to Los Angeles several years before I moved out here. And even though, you know, we're good friends, you know, we didn't really get a chance to like hang out as often as I would have liked. But yeah, you know, it's just gotten to the point, you know, for her, she's just like, I can't do this. And so she packed her bags and she ended up moving. We were able to get together and hang out right before she left. My homegirl Maisa's leaving. She's leaving LA. She's leaving me. I've known this woman for years. Oh my God. I'm excited for her and the next chapter in her life. I want her to be happy, and I know she's gonna be happy. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that that she mentioned to me when we were hanging out was that, you know when you're over it, you know when like your time in LA is up. And you know, we were just talking about things like the industry and just the city overall. And I know I've talked about this before. I know I've talked about, you know, feeling that Los Angeles is dying or it's dead or whatever. You know, just having this conversation with her, with someone who is a native, who grew up out here and who's really seen like all the changes and everything. And she's someone who left and came back and has left again. You know, just talking with her and really just feeling the same way, you know. And yeah, you know, she was just like, you will know, you'll feel it. And she said, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to pack up and move right away. She said it might take time. You know, it might take a month, a couple of months, maybe a year, but you know when your time is up and you have to start making those decisions. And I do feel like my time in LA is up. I wanted to give Los Angeles 10 years, giving it 7. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably going to be here another year. And that's mainly so that, you know, I can kind of decide what I want to do next. Save up some money, work out the logistics, and really, really determine like what I want to do next. You know, it's hard because I know a lot of y'all who like really regularly like watch my videos and don't live in LA. I know that some of y'all kind of like look at me and what I'm doing and it's just like, oh man, you know, Jay's doing it, you know, I'm rooting for him. I mean, hell, some of you have told me that I am a bit of an inspiration or what have you because I'm out here, you know, I've been chasing the dream and I've been trying to make this work. But yeah, y'all, I'm just feeling like it's time. You know, I've been talking with my friends about it. Friends that live here, friends that live elsewhere, talk with family about it. And, you know, and having those talks and in really thinking about it, it's just like, yeah, again, it's time. And, you know, one thing that I've noticed is that when people talk about leaving Los Angeles, not feeling it anymore, whatever, there are always these like rumblings from sometimes natives, sometimes from transplants who come here and who just love this place unconditionally. And the narrative is always, oh, you're leaving because you can't hang. You're leaving because you couldn't make it. You're leaving because whatever. And the thing is, it's just like, I'm doing fine. Like, it's not a matter of, you know, not being able to hang, not being able to... There are thousands, tens of thousands of people who cannot afford to live here, who lost their homes, lost their jobs, at the beginning of the year, people who have been chasing their dream, you know, of making it in the industry, whether as, you know, an actor or a filmmaker or a writer, whatever, and they just can't afford it or whatever anymore. They can't continue to chase the dream. Like, that's not me. I can certainly stay here. Like, I want to give myself, you know, those remaining 3 years. I could do that. Or hell, if I just wanted to say, hey, I'm going to stay here for as long as it takes, I could do that. But the reality is, I just do not vibe with this city, which is something I've said before. I don't vibe with LA. I am not having fun. I am largely bored, and I don't feel like trying to force it anymore. So, as my friend Maisa said, you know when it's time, and I do think it's time. So, like I said, I'm still probably going to be here for like, you know, another year, but my fabulous LA life is most definitely coming to an end.
Only been a few hours, but it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want.